Offense, great drive.
Go, go!
Step. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome into practice today, presented by SiriusXM. Halloween is around the corner, and we have some great fall foliage here at One Jets Drive as the Jets prepare for their Halloween matchup against the Bengals. Welcome inside the spooky BetMGM studio. Ethan Greenberg joined alongside Eric Allen. EA, what do you think about the spooky studio?
I think it looks beautiful outside, but Katie has done a tremendous job decorating this for the season. I'll tell you what, Halloween, it's like a cool time of year, but speaking of cool time of year, it's going to be in the 40s tonight. I don't like that. I don't like the darkness that comes with the fall as we start progressing towards winter, but good thing for the Jets. Going to be back home this weekend, 1-1 so far at MetLife Stadium. And you could say they outplayed the New England Patriots for large portions of that Week 2 meeting. And their most impressive performance to date, of course, was against the Tennessee Titans.
That is very true. And one thing as we move forward here, I put up a poll on Twitter. We're going to circle back later in the show. It's a Halloween-themed poll. Which Jet had the best Halloween costume this week? And we will get to that later in the show. But first, let's dive into today's headline, which is that Mike White will start for the Jets under center with Zach Wilson out 2 to 4 weeks. EA, what did you make of White's performance against the Patriots, and why are the Jets confident in that man on your screen?
I liked his performance against the Patriots. You never want to have the interceptions, and he missed Ryan Griffin there in the third quarter. But if you take a look at the Jets' drive by drive, when he entered the ball game, first off, first NFL pass goes to Corey Davis for a touchdown. You can't beat that. And then the Jets had the ball for a couple plays before halftime. Next time they had the ball, they moved it at the start of the second half. And that drive culminated with a touchdown from Elijah Moore. But Ethan, I'd ask you the same question. Is that the Jets like his command of the huddle, his command of the offense, and he processed quick. He got rid of the football, got the ball in players' hands. We saw Michael Carter be very productive, and Ty Johnson as well out of the backfield. All in all, good performance. Got to protect the football.
Threw 2 interceptions, as you can see in the bottom nugget right there. Threw for 202 yards, completing 62.5% of his passes. What Robert Saleh was saying is that he kept taking what the New England Patriots defense gave him. Now, how do you think that as a fan or as you watch Mike White play, you balance Mike White taking what the defense gave him and also knowing the Patriots played from ahead and could probably play back a little bit?
Well, it's an outstanding point. So we're going to see what happens this week when the Jets line up against the Cincinnati Bengals, because Mike White did not touch a football last week where the Jets weren't down by at least 17 points, of course. His first NFL pass goes to Corey Davis. Touchdown, it's 17-7. Patriots get the ball back. They march right down the field again. It's 24-7. So he'll get the ball at the onset this week. And for the New York Jets, of course, you want to end that first quarter drought. They moved the ball in that second possession against the New England Patriots. Unfortunately, that ended with a missed field goal.
Mike White became the 5th quarterback since 2008 to throw for a touchdown on his first NFL regular season completion, or pass attempt, should I say. It was a completion to Corey Davis, who leads the team with 4 touchdown receptions on the year. Let's move to the defense for our Jet in Focus, because the Jets defense could be getting some reinforcements, particularly at linebacker. We know about C.J. Mosley, did not play last week. Let's talk about who was supposed to start next to Mosley. That's Jared Davis, because Jared Davis, eligible to practice this week. He did practice yesterday, and they really like what he brings in terms of size and speed to the position.
Well, he's a former first-round pick, 55 career games, 45 starts, of course, with the Detroit Lions. He did a little bit of everything for the Lions. I know we did some off-season work on him. He excelled as a pass rusher. They kind of went under the radar. One season he picked up 6 sacks, 10.5 career sacks, but he's, like Mosley, a tackling machine, 305 career tackles. Started 30 games between 2017 and 2018, those 2 seasons. Then you saw his role diminished a little bit last year in Detroit, but he talked all summer about how he thinks this defense is a perfect fit for him. Bottom line, this Jets defense is going to look completely different if you have Mosley on the field If you have Jared Davis on the field, then the linebacker position looks vastly different.
And also, just one quick note, if you look to his left, Quincy Williams also warming up. That's a good sign for the Jets because he was in that concussion protocol, limited yesterday. Or no, he did not practice yesterday, excuse me. So this is a step in the right direction for the Jets. But in terms of Jared Davis in particular, when he spoke to the media EA, he was talking about how he thought this situation was a career rebirth, right? Also college teammates with Marcus May, as you can see, familiar with Mayday in the back end there. But didn't you get the sense that Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Saleh, particularly Ulbrich, really thought that Jared Davis could be one of the better players in the defense, maybe even at the position in the league?
I completely agree with that. When the Jets made this acquisition in the summer, last offseason, they knew they were getting a first-round talent in Davis. And sometimes it doesn't click for players right away. An example of that is Demario Davis, who has become one of the finer linebackers in the National Football League, of course, starting his career with the Jets. He wasn't the nonstop force that he is right now with the Saints early on in his career. Jared Davis is still a very young player. He is a physical force, can run side to side, get up the field. And Aaron Rodgers was talking when we were in Green Bay. It stood out to us when we were listening to A-Rod talk that he's one of the hardest hitters in the National Football League.
And Jared Davis got injured in that preseason game against the Packers at Lambeau Field. But this Sunday, come out to MetLife Stadium, Sunday, October 31st, as the Jets take on the Cincinnati Bengals at 1 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive a free Stealth Black Rally Towel presented by Green Giant. Get your tickets at nyjets.com/tickets. All right, let's take a look at this week's roster report. We saw earlier that Quincy Williams was on the field, but there are a couple guys that we have to really keep an eye on. One, we know Tevin Coleman did not practice yesterday. This is a big list.
Keep that slate up here.
Yeah, do not move. Joe Flacco will not be with the team until Friday, non-injury related. Bryce Huff, back injury. Trayvon Wesco, I mean, we can go on and on. We know about Zach Wilson, Ashton Davis, another guy to keep an eye on. But the two guys that I'm really looking at here, same position, the tight ends. Tyler Croft trending upward as he looks like he will return or has a chance to as he was limited. While on the other end of that, Trayvon Wesco could miss his first game of the season, which that's really something to keep an eye on because not only is Trayvon Wesco listed at tight end, but he's also the team's starting fullback.
Good job by the fellas out there. There's Tyler Croft out there on the practice field, number 81. He has 6 catches so far this season. He had a good chemistry going there with Zach Wilson. We're going to have to see how Mike White operates under center. Ryan Griffin actually leads the tight end so far this season with 9 catches. But you're right about Wesco as we watch Griffin and the aforementioned Croft get warmed up here, is that he's been the fullback. So who's going to line up as the Jets fullback Sunday against the Bengals if he is out of the lineup?
So let's hypothesize here. If Trayvon Wesco does not play, the Jets do have a fullback on their practice squad. His name is Nick Bawden, and he could be elevated for Sunday's game. He's an interesting story here. He was a collegiate quarterback at San Diego State. Then he blocked for both Donnell Pumphrey and Rashad Penny. Each running back ran for more than 2,000 yards for the Aztecs. So
you don't see a lot of guys make that transition.
No,
starting out,
that's
getting
a weird
recruited
transition.
as a college quarterback, and then all of a sudden they're playing fullback, and oh, by the way, and they're in the National Football League as a fullback. So a big guy. That speaks to his athleticism. And San Diego State, by the way, for people who are following college athletics, big game this weekend. They play Fresno State.
All right, one last thing on the tight ends. We're looking at Tyler Croft. And if he does play Sunday, you're probably looking at your tight ends room with Tyler Croft, Ryan Griffin, and Daniel Brown. What do you think Croft could add to this lineup, particularly to Mike White?
Well, I think he's the pass catcher, right? Griffin can do a little bit of everything, and we saw him with 5-6 touchdown catches a couple years ago. That's very recently. I think the tight ends are one of the most important positions on the field because they're going to be key players in the run game, but also they can provide an outlet and they can help you out inside the red zone. And the other guy we got to watch out for this week, too, is would Kenny Yeboah possibly be up?
It's possible. We were just looking at Nick Bawden. If we could see him again, that'd be great. That is a big That is a
That's
big
a
dude.
big quarterback.
That is a huge quarterback. All right, well, flipping to the Bengals offense here, Joe Burrow has a shiny new toy on the outside in rookie Jamar Chase. For a closer look at him, let's go inside the film room with Brian Baldinger in this week's Baldy's Breakdown presented by Sharp.
Thanks a lot, Ethan. This week, I want to take a look at Joe Burrow and his new favorite target, Jamar Chase, who's been lighting the league on fire.
The Jets are going to see one of the best quarterback-wide receiver duos in the NFL on Sunday. At the bottom is Jamar Chase, the rookie. And when he's even right here, right there, that ball's in the air, he's leaving. He's got a burst, almost unlike any other receiver in this league, and he knows exactly where the end zone line is. But it's more than that. He's a great route runner. Here's 4th and 1 at the bottom against Jimmy Smith. Watch his ability to separate and then come back to the ball. And then, so dangerous after the catch. When you look at him up at the top here, he has every route possible, like this back shoulder fade, to convert this if the corner plays over the top. He's got that. And then he is unbelievable at the end of the first half. Like this is the final minute right here against Marlon Humphrey. He gets inside on this little dig route, but then he knows exactly where the sideline is, but he wants to gain every yard he can to get out of bounds to stop the clock. He's got a good sense of the clock, the timing of the game, and then this. This is 3rd and 2 right here. He separates, he wins the route, but he's not done. This is when he's most dangerous. He can break tackles, and then he's got speed to burn to finish these plays. The biggest play by a Bengal this year, 82 yards, and that really put the game away in the 3rd quarter a week ago against the Ravens.
All right, very impressive stuff from the rookie who's 2nd in the NFL in receiving yards, also leads the league in yards per reception. And this young Jets secondary that we're taking a look at right here, it's going to have its hands full not only with Jamar Chase, but the other weapons that the Bengals have as well.
Man, you know Chase is on pace for more than 1,800 yards this season?
As a rookie. Whatever's in the water at LSU between Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, not to mention Joe Burrow, it's pretty sickening.
All right, as we watch the Jets defensive backs, Chase is the 5th player in the last 35 years with 750 receiving yards and a 20-plus yards per catch average in the first 7 games of a season. He did a lot of damage last week against Marlon Humphrey, one of the top cornerbacks in the National Football League. I think the Jets or any team who is lining up against Jamar Chase, you're going to have to bracket him. And then you're going to have to take your chances other spots and play some man coverage.
And also Jamar Chase, Pro Football Focus says that he has 400 receiving yards against man coverage, which is 113 yards more than any other player. But the Jets, on the first 2 downs mostly, like to play a lot of zone, EA.
Yeah, well, listen, last week we saw at the safety position, you had Ashton Davis, who we saw on the injury report, he was limited yesterday, and then also Marcus May. But what you like from the secondary, they're in rebound mode this week. The Patriots had 11 pass plays of 20-plus yards. You can't have that happen. And some of that stuff wasn't on the secondary. Some of that stuff were screens, short passes, and the Patriots, I thought the Patriots started getting the vertical pass game going late when they had all options at their disposal. But as we look at Ashton Davis, it's good to see him around after missing the first few games this season. Bryce Hall is the leader in the secondary right now with 6 PDs. And Michael Carter's played very well for you at that nickel position. He'll be matching up with Tyler Boyd. And then who's going to be matching up with Higgins on the outside this week?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Boyd because Tyler Boyd's not your classic slot receiver. Yeah. He is a much taller, bigger guy. Michael Carter is not as tall and as big as Tyler Boyd. Also, we just saw before we came on air, Michael Carter II, the 3rd highest ranked or graded Pro Football Focus rookie corner. So
that's another silver lining. I know people
yes.
Looked at last week, and obviously it was a destruction in New England, but you got to look at the positives right now if you're the Jets. And a couple of those are named Michael Carter on both sides of the ball. Michael Carter right now 4th in the NFL among all rookies with 5.3 tackles a game. And that guy keeps on getting his hands on footballs. That is Bryce Hall. Joe Burrow, for everything that he has done well so far this season and through 2 years, he's got 8 interceptions right now.
Something to keep an eye on as the Jets are still looking for their first interception of the year. And Jets fans, if you want to learn how to make some epic game day eats with Mekhi Becton, go to madeforjetswatching.com and download the recipe cards for amazing dishes like Pepsi glazed ribs. Pepsi is the official soft drink of the New York Jets. All right, it's time for our Stats Amazing segment on practice today, courtesy of Randy Lang, with a little spooky theme here as we enter Halloween weekend. The Jets on Halloween are actually 4-2 overall. They're 3-1 in games played in the New York, New Jersey area, with home wins at Shea Stadium in 64 and 65, and a road win at the Giants in 93, which is also the New York, New Jersey area.
I wasn't at those games in 64 and 65.
Thank you for clarifying.
Hey, listen, the Bengals, though, seriously, they just came up with 2 consecutive wins on the road, so they're looking for a 3rd consecutive road win, which would be impressive no matter who you're playing. I want to see how they come off that big-time division win. Are they going to have a little bit of a step back, or can they keep the foot on the gas, so to speak?
All right, and we'll find out Sunday. But for more numbers, let's hear from NFL Network analytics expert Cynthia Freeland.
I have 3 numbers for you ahead of this matchup. The first number is 40, as in Corey Davis has 4 straight games with at least 4 catches and at least 40 yards per game. This is the longest such streak of his career. The second number is 87.5, as in last week, the Jets running backs caught 14 of the 16 targets, and they were of 10 or fewer air yards that were headed their way for an 87.5% catch rate and 132 yards. The Bengals front is really good at bringing pressure. Last week against the Ravens, they had an over 47% pressure rate. So short and quick passes are going to be a key to keeping this Jets offense on schedule. The last number is 68.9, as in Joe Burrow's completion percentage when facing the blitz. That's 3rd best in the NFL. He also has a 112.8 passer rating and 6 touchdowns when defenses rush 5 or more. So far this season, the Jets have blitzed at the 11th highest rate, 27.4%. So this is going to be an area where maybe the adjustment is to blitz less often.
That is a big boy at tight end that we did not mention. C.J. Uzomah, the tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals.
They got weapons everywhere.
They do. It's great. And we didn't even talk about Joe Mixon. That will be for Pregame Central on Sunday, presented by Uber Eats. But this is practice today, presented by SiriusXM. Let's wrap up with the option route. All right. Question number 1 is Bengals related. So who's the most frightening young quarterback wide receiver duo in the NFL? Is it Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase? Or is it another duo that we have not talked about? Man. And that guy right there, Brandon Eccles, will probably be seeing a lot of Joe Burrow, or should I say Jamar Chase, or whoever is lined up on the outside.
What do you think? I know you're throwing that question out there to me, but where would you go with this?
I think really, what do you determine as young? Is it anybody under 30? Because
let's go about 26.
26? All right. Well, I have to look up how old Dak Prescott is.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb is probably right up there with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. It's really hard not to go with Burrow and Chase, but the reason why I was asking about age is because the Arizona Cardinals, the unbeaten Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins is closer to 30 than he is 26, but that Kyler Murray-Hopkins connection, I would assume that would be at the top of the list if it were under 30.
Yeah, it depends, I guess, how we classify the
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, that's another one.
That's a good one. But as far as guys in their first and second years,
yeah,
it's got to be these two.
Right, it has to be. Also, like, I feel like if you're looking at young players in the league, a lot of them are playing with older veterans. Like if you were to say A.J. Brown, Tannehill, if you want to go like out to Seattle with DK and Russ Wilson, I just feel like, the other combination that we have to talk about would be Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill.
Yes. And while both of those guys are south of 30, I don't consider them young. I consider them both established vets, right? So I would say, yeah, this is probably the scariest duel.
I would say so.
Young duel. You're definitely not going to find 3 years and under, as far as experience are concerned. You're not going to find another duo like that.
Dak is 28, so
so
that does not fit EA's parameters.
Relatively young.
Relatively young, just not that young.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2. Who has the scariest logo in the NFL? Is it the Las Vegas Raiders or is it the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
The Raiders!
The autumn wind is a pirate.
Yeah, that's right. The autumn wind is a pirate. The silver and black. You know, speaking of Halloween, when I was growing up, Marcus Allen was a running back for the Raiders. Of course, my last name is Allen, so I used to dress up as Marcus Allen for Halloween. I had the Raiders helmet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Full size. I love that.
Yeah.
And so the only argument that I would give the Bucs logo is that it has the two swords. Like, I think the Raiders' skull is spookier and scarier, but the Buccaneers, you know, if they were fighting, if the Raiders logo and the Buccaneers photo were fighting, the Buccaneers, they got two swords.
I can't even consider the Buccaneers uniforms because everybody knows their uniforms should be their creamsicles all the time.
Yeah, EA is fired up about that.
Yeah, how can you not have the creamsicles as your primary
I also
logo?
do think the Raiders coloring makes it a little scarier with the black and silver.
Yeah, just, you know, we used to go to Oakland quite a bit, and obviously their new home is the Death Star in there in Vegas, but the black hole was something else.
I will say I do have a good story about the Oakland Raiders. My buddy's family going to a Packers-Raiders game out in Oakland, and the guy said, yeah, it's $20 to park. He hands him a 20, and he says, another 20 if you want to keep the car safe. So he forked up another 20 on the spot.
I would have forked up a couple hundred.
All right, question number 3. Which Jet had the best Halloween costume? We're going to go through each costume one by one here. Let's start with Corey Davis. All right, he dressed up with his wife, but Corey Davis's costume, as we take a look at it, I don't know what you call it. It might be like a skull. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. But that is the costume, and that is Corey Davis. I can confirm.
4 receiving touchdowns on the year, leading the New York Jets. There's the veteran right now. He's just talking about culture, about flipping this thing here. First year with the Jets, of course. We don't see the other photos. I know they're coming up here. I'm going to venture to say I like Corey Davis's costume, number 1.
I like the jacket a lot, too. The jacket was very impressive.
I like the mask. It's scary.
All right. Costume number 2. Let's go to another player that's returning to practice this week, not named Jared Davis. Punter Braden Mann going as Marshmallow. And I'm not talking about the food.
Okay, so give me an update on Marshmallow.
Music, DJ.
All right.
Yeah, EA not a fan.
Listen, I think it's okay. I think it's cool. I just don't know if I like it for Halloween.
All right, fair enough.
You love it?
No, I just think it's an easy costume. It's simple to do. It's got the lights, as we see Braden Mann back on the practice field. Also, I just learned this. How about this? Thomas Morstead, the Jets punter, gave Braden Mann his first ever punting lesson when he was 7 years old.
Wow, that's something I didn't think would come up in this segment.
Me neither. But we found a way to sneak it in here on Practice Today, presented by SiriusXM. Now we're going to go to costume number 3, the big man down in the middle on the defense, Quinnen Williams and his wife Miranda going as Pirates. Talk about the autumn wind as a pirate. It is not Quinnen Williams. Or maybe it is.
You can never go wrong. First off, being a pirate on Halloween. That's the first thing you think about. And Quinnen looks very happy, and his wife does as well. So I love the costumes there. Nice job.
Well executed.
Yes.
Well executed by the Williamses. Lastly here, or not second to last here, we got a little double Dan action. Dan Feeney, Dan Brown. Oh, the slow-mo Luigi. You like either of these or what?
Yeah, this is definitely a Feeney special here. You got to be a different kind of character to pull that off, and he can do it.
Yes. Okay.
Right? I don't think it's for everybody, and nice job by Dan Brown coming along for the ride.
The mullet really adds to the Feeney costume.
Yeah.
Flintstones.
I think Feeney needs probably cold beverages in his hand right there.
All right. And lastly here, I'm going to let you guess who this is, all right? We have an M&M. One player on the Jets dressed up as an M&M.
Okay.
So I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but
we see a lot of Feeney right now.
We do. But if there was one player on the Jets who was an M&M, who do you think it is? I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue.
Quarterback?
No. Same name,
Kicker?
offense, defense.
I'll say Michael Carter, the running back.
That is correct. It is, in fact, Michael Carter, the running back,
Bam!
as the red M&M. So, all right, with that being said.
That's cool.
I did go. Do you like M&Ms?
Yeah, but I haven't had a couple in a few years.
You prefer peanut M&Ms or M&Ms?
I would say probably peanut.
All right, me too. All right, so like we said earlier, I did go to Twitter to get who Jets fans thought had the best Halloween costumes.
Corey Davis. Let's do
You're
it.
still going Corey Davis?
Corey.
All right. Quinnen Williams, 49.1% of the vote. Wow.
Wow. Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote, but had I voted,
just asked you to vote
I
right
would
now.
I would have gone with Corey Davis. I thought the costume was well executed. I thought the mask, the jacket was very good. But Quinnen Williams right there,
Yeah,
winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, Quinn and his wife look tremendous. Very stylish, very nice-looking pirate pair.
You got a nice-looking pirate pair. Put that on your resume, Quinnen. You got any Halloween costumes planned this weekend?
No, my daughter's going to do Paw Patrol, and I think, so if I'm going with her, maybe I would do like Ryder from Paw Patrol.
All right.
Gets all the pups together.
I love it. Hey, you are a big pups guy.
Yeah. Well, what about you?
I got nothing. I got my eyes on the candy.
Okay.
And that's all we have here. That's how we wrap up the spooky edition of Practice Today, presented by SiriusXM. We will see you Sunday from inside the BetMGM studio for pregame central.
Good sign there as we leave.
Yes, maybe this is a good omen for the Jets.
CJ Mosley on the practice field.
As we exit the BetMGM studio,
And
we
Jared
will
Davis.
see you, and Jared Davis, and we will see you Sunday.